Of course, former player and now an agent. What's your impression so far of the new single window portal?
It's chaos. It is absolute chaos. I am currently in the middle of it myself as an agent. I am currently trying to work with guys that are moving all over the place. I am some travel agent, some athlete agent, some a little bit of everything here. So I think it's in a step in the right direction, but it's still not where it needs to be.
Jeremiah, if I'm a client of yours, I'm a player, I'm an offensive lineman at some school, and I said, hey, I want to leave. I'm going to go put myself in the portal. What is those initial conversations that you're having with that said player? And then who are you initially talking to at certain schools to try to gauge interest and kind of that workflow of one of your clients kind of going through this process?
Yeah, it's very similar to the NFL, Jay.
Yep.
Right? Front offices are being built in college football. So I'm talking to DPPs, the director of player personnel, the director of college scouting, these fancy titles and fancy names that everyone has, which is essentially just a front office, right? And then you start gauging interest with front office and you start trying to gather market intel. And that's where it gets really interesting, is trying to figure out what is the market of that player. Because unlike the NFL, there's not a publicly look where you can just go to Spotrac and go, oh, this guard makes this and that guard makes that. And this, okay, so you fit into this market, right? Every market is very unique when it comes to trying to figure out what the market value for is that player. And so the job of the agent is to communicate with as many schools as he can to try and figure out my player's market is X. And then from there, you can weed out the schools that aren't going to be in that market. You can find the schools that are in that market and above your market. And then from there, it just goes into being an agent and finding where the best fit is for your player from a financial perspective, but also from a fit perspective. Hey, where's he going to go play to make sure that he transfers? Like when those players talk with me about, I want to transfer, my first question to them is, are you trying to chase the bag? Or are you trying to play? Right? Because those are two completely different conversations that I need to have with my players. And those are completely different conversations that I'm going to be having with the GMs. I'll say there's no players that tell me they want to chase the bag, don't end up working with me.
All right, so let me go. There's this opportunity, obviously, for players to capitalize because of the window and where it is. It's in January, so it's frenetic, right? You're up against it. As an agent that represents guys in their best interests, would you like to see the portal date moved? And considering your answer should be yes, why isn't it in May?
Yes, you're exactly right, DB. This whole thing should be in May. And I think the biggest reason is college coaches freak out about, I got to have my whole roster in the spring. No, you don't.
It doesn't make any sense.
You really don't. You really don't. I mean, let's make this thing out. And the other piece is, I'm talking to GMs, I'm talking to player front offices around the country. And in December, they're trying to do 3 months of work in 30 days. And they're trying to do 3 different jobs. They're trying to do retention on their players. They're trying to plan for a bowl game, and they're also trying to start the front end of free agency and acquisition. It's borderline impossible to get right. And so the best way to fix this is, guess what? There's already a professional league that has this schedule figured out. It's called the NFL, right? All of this should be done in the offseason. All of it. You should have all of January to do your retention. You should have all of February to start planning what your acquisition is going to look like. You should allow players to declare if they're going to enter the portal or not in March. And then come April, there's your portal. All of April, May, they arrive on campus. Then you can start your OTAs in June. It's really not that hard. I just don't know. The NCAA is going to be sticklers on it because of the academic schedule.
I get it. I still think May fits the calendar, too, with enrollment, if they still want to operate under the guise of an academic institution. But with so many guys in the portal, with 4,000 guys in the portal, it's a very short window. Are you seeing any benefits at like the FCS level in non-Power 5? Because it seems like the quality of football is being played at a really high level. All 4,000 can't go to top-end schools.
Yeah, I mean, all 4,000 aren't going to have a seat, right? It's a musical chairs. The music's going to stop. And if you don't have a seat, you're going to be looking on the outside going, man, I really wish I would have made better decisions. But I mean, you even look at that FCS championship game on Monday night, which was incredible, except for these damn kickers. And you start looking at it and you're going, hey, there's some really good players on this field that are going to go play at the Power 4 level. And so if anything, I think the FCS and the Group of Five has never been better Because if I'm a 3-star athlete and I can get an offer to go to Ohio State and ride the bench for 2 years, why wouldn't I want to just go to North Dakota State or go to CSU or go to Fresno and ball for 2 years and then go make $600 to $1 million in the portal, right? I think it's good for the sport in that aspect of it, and I think it's better quality football across the board.
Yeah, I'm going to say, first of all, clock management in that game wasn't great either.
Horrible.
That's the problem in that game.
It's hard.
And then the kickers.
It's not that hard, DB. Stop it.
I want to go back to the idea of the May portal window. You think the coaches would want it? Because I know they're so worried about them showing
Ten
anything.
would, SEC
You
would.
think the coaches would want it?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I think the more time you have to evaluate and the more time you have to understand what your needs are, the better. Because think about it. How many guys did they see in spring ball that say he's a freshman and he comes in June, he has a full season, but you don't really get to know what he is because he's young. Wouldn't you want to see that guy in the winter and see the jumps that he made before you think you need to go get a guy in the portal or not at that position? Like, what can this guy do? And hey, this freshman then took winter conditioning super seriously. He gained 25 pounds. He's going to start for me at linebacker. Now I don't need to go get a portal linebacker, right? There's just so many things that you can evaluate the more time you have. You can have longer negotiations with the agents and with the players to find a deal that feels good and doesn't feel rushed and doesn't feel like you're fighting each other. And then you come to blows. And at the end of it, you're all supposed to love each other and sit down. Like, that's not the way this is supposed to work. In this condensed window, everyone's trying to everything's too fast. Everything's moving too quickly, committing, uncommitting, this way, that way. It's just, everything's a madhouse right now. And unfortunately, it's just the era of college football we live in.
Former Husker Jeremiah Searles joining us here on Big Red Wrap Up. You mentioned chaos. So Kenny Minchey commits to Nebraska, at least says he's coming, and then flips the next day. Have you seen anything else like that happen where it goes from one day to less than 18 hours later where a guy's going to a different school?
I mean, I can tell you that players that I have in the portal right now, I've had committed to go on a visit. They weren't committed to the school. I've had them committed to go on a visit, and then another school calls that has an offer that is a higher dollar amount offer, and you call the school and say, hey, this is the market that's now gone. Do you want to match this? And they say, nope, I can't match that. Cool, we're swapping visits out, right? That's just how it goes because you only have so much time. Right, you only have so much time here, and again, you don't want to get cute. I mean, a good deal today is a good deal tomorrow, but at the same time, in the free market era of this, is if you're not committed, and by committed I mean pen to paper, there's no rules that say you can't do anything else, and so that's just the way this free market's going to work. Because one school might think they have a guy locked in, and then he commits to another school, and they go down their list and find the next guy, and I mean, it's just constant movement, and so I think that's very rare. I don't necessarily know if the full commitment of, hey, I'm committed 100%, I'm coming, and then flipping is happening. But I do know for a fact, because I've been doing it, is, hey, I'm committed to a visit. Circumstances change. The market for my player changes. I then go to those schools and say, hey, the market has now shifted. Are you in? Are you out? Right? Hey, no, we can't match that number. Okay, cool. Then I'm going to replace you with the team that is in that market. Right? So that stuff's happening all the time. And that's just the way it's going to happen because everything's happening so quickly.
Searles, how have the numbers increased from year one? Are we in year 3 or year 4 now of the NIL era? I lose count.
I'm going to say I'm really going to say this is year 1, Jay,
Okay,
because
sure.
of the rev share.
Sure. Okay, good point.
Like that's the way you have to look at it. The rev share is really year 1 of this year.
Okay, so what that means, how have the numbers now changed year to year on what certain positions groups are getting compared to previous to rev share, now with rev share being included? Are the numbers about the same, or have they increased substantially?
I think the numbers for the premier positions are continuing to increase. Quarterback, tackle, edge rusher, right? Corner. Like, you talk about those 4 positions, and again, you look at the NFL, what 4 positions are paid the highest, that's where you're at, right? And so you always are going to have to pay a premium for those positions because they're so hard to find. Right. And so I think the numbers for those have continued to go up on that realm there. There's schools are getting creative in ways that you can use the rev share. There's ways to use multimedia marketing rights. There's ways to use NIL Go. Like, it's all about just being creative in that process. But, I think those numbers for the premier players are always going to be high.
Jeremiah, we saw a lot of numbers floated out there for guys at Nebraska around the country. Some are accurate, some unfortunately were not. How much transparency, as a guy that has clients, would you like to see across the board? So if you're going to try to gravitate towards the NFL model, you can say, okay, listen, right guards are this, left tackles are this, quarterbacks are this, because you get schools that can reset the market. How much transparency do you think you'd like to see?
The only way you can have transparency, though, is if you have a collective bargain agreement.
Yeah.
Right, because with transparency comes a true cap, right? A true cap, not you can only spend 20, it's right, but a true cap, right? Along the lines of like the NFL, hey, this is the number. The collective bargaining says you have to be within 90% of this number and average over the years, and that's when you can have transparency amongst the cap. The NIL portal is not transparent because there is no true cap, right? All the college football teams put in what their NIL was this year, and you've got Alabama at 20, you've got Ohio State at 35. And so when there is no true cap, there's no transparency because the market is whatever someone's willing to pay, right? There's no, this guard's worth X. It's no, this guard is worth whatever team is willing to pay this guard the highest amount of money. So would I like there to get to a collective bargain agreement? Absolutely. Do I think we're close to that? No.
I don't know if you've had a chance to deal with the management part of Nebraska and what's happening in terms of general manager and stuff, but what do you think about the team they built with Pat Stewart leading them?
I think Pat's done a great job. I actually represent Gunnar Gatula, so I have gotten a chance to work with Pat. I've got a chance to work with Jonathan Bateman over there in compliance, and they do a really nice job with their transparency, with their negotiations. They're fair, right, in that realm there, but also they're professionals, and that's a big piece of this business. Is a lot of agents aren't professionals, and so I think that Pat and Coach Rule and all of them have done a really nice job of the model in which they want to build out and the model in which they want to build for their team.
Jeremiah, we appreciate it. Good luck over the next week and a half or so getting through all this.
Hey, I appreciate it, guys. It's gonna be wild, but it's gonna be really fun to see where the chips finally fall, and go Big Red always.